decision your mother made, or about our father's decision. Mikush and me were on your side.
Bollocks! You let us eat shit, and you and your little tailor just watch.
Let her go immediately.
Take another step, and I'll slit her throat.
Don't do it. Do you hear me? You'll be sorry.
Someone else is going to be sorry here.
For God's sake, talk to me.
Why are you sticking your nose into this?
Calm down, Hanker. Let's talk this over. We can find a reasonable solution here. Give it time. You can't deal with everything in such a hurry.
Well, I'm listening, but spit it out fast.
Let her go. We can talk this over. It's not your fault what you've done. You've gone through horrible things.
What could you know about that?
Believe me, I know. You're horribly angry and you can't control yourself. But no one else should suffer because of that. Talk to me. Peacefully.
Peacefully? All right. We'll do it your way.
Praise be to God.
Look, I know it doesn't look good, but I was in the right. The money they hid, it belongs to me. It's my inheritance.
I don't understand. You'll have to explain it to me.
My grandfather, old Svatosh, was rich. He worked the fields all around Messelis. He built a beautiful house. He had many children, but only 2 daughters made it into adulthood. Svatova and my mother, Ludmila. When he was dying, he fucked my mother over and gave the house and all his money to Svatova and that tailor of hers.
To disinherit his daughter like that is strange, to say the least. Did he have a reason to do that?
Reason? Svatosh hated my father. He was just your average poor commoner, but that wasn't good enough for his high and mighty self. Svatova and Mikush got married off in Kutenberg at the Church of St. Peter and Pavel. But did they invite my parents? I was still little, but I remember he treated us like dirt. And not just him. We barely had any proper food to eat. Pa had to go work in the mines at Horsham for a few groschen. He ended up trapped under rubble there. He died a cripple. After that, no one even moved a finger to help us. Not Svatova, not Mikush, no one.
You're damn lucky I came in time to help, Mikush. Things might have ended up much worse.
I only wanted justice. Nothing more.
If you felt aggrieved, you should have found another way. Violence solves nothing.
That's the first time I've heard that. You don't exactly look like the type of man that would avoid, say, torturing an enemy. Or am I wrong?
I need to have a good reason to get violent.
Are you saying I didn't have a good reason?
Tell me one thing. How did you survive what happened in Messelis?
Dumb fucking luck, I reckon. That band of despicable cutthroats. Once they made their way into the courtyard, all hell broke loose. Tried to defend ourselves, but everyone but me fell. So I fled to save my brother and mother. But it was too late. Everything was burning. I took off running and didn't stop until I was deep in the forest.
No matter what you've done, I must admit, I feel sorry for you. I know well what you went through. Your family? What happened to them?
No one survived. No one was expecting it. Once the soldiers entered the village, there was no escape. Their captain got his eye on my brother, who worked with me in the courtyard. Franz was barely 15. He didn't stand a chance. I ran out to the fields for Ma, but they got there first. All I could hear was her screaming. And then it stopped. I lost everyone. But Svatova and Mikush didn't.
I'm sorry, but your misfortune gives you no right to harm others. How did you join up with the bandits?
My first night out, I slept under a tree. I was starving, so I went out hunting for mushrooms, but then I saw a fire. It was that gang. Captain Loiser was their leader, a big fella. They said they'd let me join if I beat him in a fight. So, I beat him. And they made me their leader.
And what about Loiser?
They buried him in a glade.
I reckon that was no great loss.
I don't know. We didn't really get to know each other.
In any case, you should apologize. You put them through hell.
I won't apologize to anyone. They had a guilty conscience because of what they did to me. If they shared just a bit of their wealth, nothing would have happened to them. But they didn't. They fucked up my life. I'm poor and alone.
Enough talk.
Be reasonable. No one died in the end.
I said, enough talk. I've had enough of you. Get out of my sight before I change my mind.
Fine. I'll go. You'll never see me again.
And forget about that inheritance. Got it?
I suppose it wasn't my fate anyway. Farewell.
Hey, Hanka!
Where's he going?
I have no idea. That fella told him. Don't get it. Hey, Hanka! Hanka! Talk to us!
You both alright?
My sweet Vendula. Did he hurt you?
I'm all right, Ma.
Thank God. Thanks for the rescue, Henry. And what about my husband? Did you find him?
I did. Hanka was keeping him in his camp. He was nearly a goner, but I managed to treat his wounds.
His wounds? My God. What did those bastards do to him?
Well, they didn't treat him nicely, that's for sure. But he'll tell you himself. He's on his way back now.
Hunker, that bastard. I hope he'll pay for all his crimes.
It's not important. What's important is he won't be bothering you anymore.
Well, if you say so, I'll believe you. And I thought seeing my own home burned to the ground was the worst thing.
We've gone through a lot, Ma. So much suffering. We have to leave this place. Get as far away as possible, as soon as possible.
Wait. Did you hear something?
I don't hear anything.
There! Again! Someone's outside. Jesus. It's those bandits. There must have been more of them.
Ma, take it easy. I don't hear anything.
Henry, go and have a look.
It's not the bandits. Look who's come home.
Mikush!
Pa!
You made it here quickly.
I came as fast as I could. I nearly gave up the ghost. I was so worried about the two of you.
I'm so glad you survived. That horrible hunker tried to kill us.
I know. All because of the inheritance. He went absolutely mad.
If it weren't for Henry, he'd have killed Vendula. And then me.
That lunatic. Who would have guessed that about him? He used to be a good lad.
After all that, Henry let that good lad go.
Well, let's hope he never shows up here again. I'm awfully knackered. I need to lie down for a bit. Will you help me?
Of course, Pa. Come and rest inside.
I reckon you're hungry too. Vendula, give him some gruel. It should still be warm.
All right. Come on, Pa. Carefully.
And the two of us should have a word.
What did you want to talk about?
I wanted to thank you for everything. You saved our entire family.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
As you might have figured out, everything that happened was all because of our inheritance, which I hid from the soldiers in Messalis. I understand you've done everything you can for us, but I wanted to ask if you could go and get it for us. You're a strong, capable man, and you don't scare easy, and it'll be worth your efforts. Trust me.
All right, I'll look for it. But you'll have to tell me where I'll find it.
Listen, I'll tell you everything. My memory's not as good as it once was. Our house is the third one on the right when you follow the main road towards Visoka. Anyone entering the village goes by our house. Must have been about 2 days before the tragedy. The neighbor boy ran over and started yelling about how something was coming, that he'd heard it from the patrol on the road. No one believed him, not even his pa. After all, why would soldiers attack a monastery village, one far from their camp? It didn't make any sense. That night, though, I had a strange dream. I tried to put out a fire, but the more water I poured on it, the bigger the flames got. So, I decided to hide all our valuables. Only I couldn't do it during the day. I was worried someone would see me. I put all of it in a chest, loaded it onto a handcart, and waited till nightfall.
Continue.
When night fell, I snuck out the back of our house with a handcart, making my way through the hole in the fence next to the compost heap. Mikush was supposed to fix that hole a long time ago, but as good as he is with a needle and thread, well, when it comes to other work, you can forget about it. At least it made things easier for me. First, I headed right. Then I turned left, up the path, around the neighbor's barn. It's outside his fence. I had to stop there, because the neighbor's little brat was still awake and wandering around. Fortunately, he didn't see me. So I kept going past a low wall where two paths cross. There, I went left. Once I was safely out of the village, a dog started barking at me, so I had to pick up the pace. Instead of turning right down the path, I went straight into the field there. That handcart was damned heavy, and it was rough going off the path. I crossed the field, making it to the woods, but the wheel got stuck there. I couldn't go any further, and it was pitch black. I lit a lantern and dug a pit to fit that chest. Took me forever. When I was done, I could barely walk straight. The sun was coming up. I left the handcart and shovel there and went back the way I came. I hope those directions are good enough for you to find it.
Why did you do all that work yourself? Why didn't your husband help?
The fewer people know about it, the better. I didn't want to leave anything to chance.
That's all I need. I'll go and find your inheritance. What's the story with your inheritance?
My father, Old Man Svatos, was quite wealthy. At least compared to the rest of the village. You see, he worked all fields and farms around here. He had 9 children, but only me and my younger sister Ludmilla made it into adulthood. And then, when he died, he left everything to me. He wanted to be sure, because with Ludmilla, he was worried she'd blow through all of it.
Why did your father disinherit Ludmilla?
She was quite flighty. She liked to have a good time, if you know what I mean. She was never without a man. Then, she brought this hired hand home. Fanos was his name. She had to marry him, as she was in the family way. Svatos threw her out of the house without a second thought, heartlessly. And he never mentioned her again.
Why didn't you help Ludmilla then? Hanka said you didn't care about them. That you left them to starve to death.
That's not true. I offered to help her. I found her a job. but it was in vain. She was mad. Sometimes something came over her, like she was possessed. It was frightening, and it got worse and worse. It seems Hunka has inherited it from her. Those aren't the kind of people you let live in your house.
How did Svatos become so wealthy?
He was a good farmer. When he was young, he worked on a big farm somewhere near Colleen and worked his way up from the bottom to become the custodian. But it's no coincidence he ended up in Mesoles. He was close with the old custodian of the Sedlets monastery. They were friends. Sometimes you've just got to meet good fortune halfway.
Why didn't you help Hanker at least? He lost his father after he got hurt in the mines. He must have been desperate.
Vanosh? A miner? Where did you hear that? He never stepped foot out of the village. He drank so much, he lost his job, and then fell off a cliff at Simperk. He's a common swindler. And he's delusional, just like his lunatic mother. I hope our paths never cross again.
What did he do with such a large inheritance?
What do you think? I took care of it the way Pa wanted, so our Groshin didn't just roll away from us. So our Vendula would have a good life, a good dowry, and a good husband. At least someone as good as my Mikush.
What are you going to do now?
I hope that inheritance brings us back the happiness we've lost. I hope our suffering ends soon, and we'll see better days again.
I'd like to know more about Mesoles.
Those are sad memories.
You know, I've been through something similar. Sigismund's army burned down my hometown. Skalitz.
My lord! Thank God you managed to save yourself.
Unfortunately, very few of us were so lucky. My ma and pa stayed behind.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What would you like to know, Henry?
I know reliving it isn't easy, but I'd be interested to know how the attack unfolded.
Like I said, we were prepared for it, unlike the others. The soldiers came from the main road. First the horsemen. They cut down anyone who stood in their way. Then came the first flaming arrows, and the roofs began to burn. The horsemen then stormed the farm, and that's all I saw. May God save the souls of those innocent people.
You said you were prepared, so someone warned you?
I already told you, Henry. A few days earlier, the neighbor boy was shouting about how he had heard something was going to happen. And then, I had the strange dream. So I decided to get ready, just in case.
Did you know where you'd flee to?
Aye, I did. I remember this old hut by Billiny. A long time ago, the Lord's huntsman and his family lived there. When the forest fell under the ownership of the monastery, he had to move out. It was empty for years, and now it's our home.
What was Mesoles like before all this? Was it a big village?
I wouldn't call it big. Maybe back in my father's day, but not in recent years. As more and more silver started coming out of the mines, people moved to work in Kutenberg. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nobody left to work in the fields soon. But what can you do? That's a question for the custodian. And there's no reason to ask now anyway.
Was there anything peculiar about Mesoles?
What do you mean?
Well, something worth looking for, I mean. Something the soldiers might have wanted.
They didn't attack us for our buried inheritance, that's for sure. They came for food and plunder. Though, on second thought, I heard something about a mysterious cave that's supposedly beneath Mesoles. But I reckon that's just an old wives' tale.
I'm going for the inheritance. I hope it's still there.
I'm sure it is. No one would ever think to look where it's hidden. Me, Vendula, and Mikush will wait here for you.
Gah! Quick! Quick! Die! Go! Die! This is where Svatova took the handcart onto the meadow. The inheritance can't be far. Go! Quick! Go! Quick! God! God! Go! Go!
Whoa!
I was in Merciless and followed your instructions.
And? Did you find it?
The chest was buried by the forest, exactly where you said. Next to the handcart.
My God! Thank you for everything. Vendula! Mikush! Henry has returned, and he found our inheritance.
Finally! Some good news.
Don't keep us waiting, Henry. Let's see what you have for us.
Here's everything I found.
Fabric, Coercion, and our ancestor? Nothing's missing.
This fabric's as good as new. Think of all the money this will make.
Finally, fortune smiled upon us.
It surely has. I told you that once our ancestor comes back to us, everything will be like it once was. Thank you, Henry. Here's something for your efforts. If you ever feel like learning something new, Mikush here would be glad to teach you.
So he teach me to play dice, eh?
You can't learn dice. You have to have it in your blood.
That's not what I meant. He's a tailor by trade, so he can show you how to mend your clothes.
I reckon I could. Stop by, Henry. I'll find time for you.
God be with you, neighbour.
Greetings to you too. It happens. Watch where you're going next.
I see you're on your feet. You feeling better?
Thank God Vendula took care of me. So I'm feeling much better. Thanks for asking. I reckon it'll be a while before I dance again. But no matter. At least I can still hold a needle and thread.
I'd like to learn something.
There's no time for it now. Come back later.
Greetings. Can't it wait till morning?
I'm here about the bones.
Excellent, my son. So you found them. Where are they?
Here they are. They weren't easy to find.
Where were they?
In the woods by Rabstein. I met a few people along the way who were interested in them, and they clearly weren't keen on giving them up easily.
But you did it, nevertheless. You are a blessing for Billany.
What now?
I'll take care of it now. I'll get rid of these bones.
How? You want to burn them?
Yes, but I'll keep it to myself where I'm going to do it. Thanks for your help. It really was a higher power that sent you to me. And you've made a good name for yourself with the abbot, too. I shall tell him everything.
Thank you, brother. God be with you.
And with you. Till we meet again.
Hans! Hans! It's me!
You again?
Stop gaping like a stuffed owl and get over here! You still owe me for the stuff from Germany.
Look, friend, you have me confused with someone else. My name's not Hans.
If you're broke, just say so and stop trying to wriggle out of it.
You're Joachim, aren't you? We've met before.
I knew it, see? You do remember.
But my name's not Hans. It's Henry.
Why play around like this when we know each other so well?
For the last time, I am not Hans!
Oh, well, I'm sorry. You're the spitting image of him. You really are. Well, I'll be sure to be extra careful from now on.
How much does this Hans owe you?
I gave him some of my wares to take. Nothing fancy, just a few trinkets. Said he'd sell them at twice the price. I'd give him half the proceeds from the trip. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing.
I have to go.
All right, farewell then.
Suckling pig here. Come by a suckling pig.
Only a blind man can't see it. Biggest friend is 1,000 times better.
You say, Bobby. Well, this doesn't seem too bad.
Look. What's going on around here?
And you know how I was telling you about that Pavel from Vysoka? The one they flogged here?
What about it?
Well, they had good cause.
Why is that?
Can you believe he robbed the whole village blind and vanished? Nobody knows where to. And now the Sukhdal captain is searching for him. And that's about it.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper.
Or it'll rot.
This horse must have cost a pretty.
Greetings to you.
I heard you've been looking for a thief.
You heard right. He's a laborer from nearby village, Vysoka. What was his name now? Yes, Pavel, that's it.
What was it he stole?
A few small valuables, some boots and a book.
How did you find him out?
Well, he disappeared just after the robberies.
And couldn't someone else have done it?
I doubt it. Supposedly a poor boy, and he disappears overnight without a word of farewell. Might as well have confessed.
Where might he have gone?
In these parts? Only Kuttenberg.
How can you be so sure?
On account of that book he stole, he wouldn't be able to sell that anywhere else.
Supposing I try and find him.
You'd be pulling a thorn from my side. You think I've got time to run around Kuttenberg looking for some petty thief?
So I'll have a look around and try to find him. Maybe he tried to sell someone that loot.
I was thinking that too. If I was you, I'd ask one of the traders in Kuttenberg about him.
Another thing about that thief you're looking for.
Yes?
Actually, nothing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you hear who died?
How's it going, Captain? Do you have any work for me?
Sehr interessant. I thought you were helping Shishka.
What of it? So is there anything you need a hand with, Frenzel?
Zum Glück nicht. Nothing urgent. If you're looking for einen Fuschen, try your luck elsewhere.
But never woke up. Mystery.
God, that's terrible.
His mother said he'd been complaining he couldn't feel his left arm, and that he was seeing things.
And he was dead in the morning. Poor thing.
He had his whole life in front of him. And next thing you know, he's being buried.
You silly baby.
Young man, could you spare me a moment of your time?
I don't have time right now.
Time. Yes. It seems people don't have time for anything these days. More's the pity. Tarry a while, young man, and answer me one question. Are you truly happy in your life?
Aye, I'm pretty happy.
Huh. And you're clearly also bursting with blissful ignorance. How delightful. Know that the immortal soul inherently makes no distinction between happiness and unhappiness, only between salvation and damnation. Happiness and unhappiness are nothing but inner feelings, delusions that pale in comparison to eternity. Tell me, what path have you chosen in life?
Well, I'm quite unremarkable. I'd say I'm just an ordinary bloke.
A humble, simple man. No grand ambitions, simply living from day to day. Modest pleasures, ordinary hardships.
That's the way of the world today, isn't it?
All that will be left of any of us is dust and bones. What if I told you only one path leads to eternal salvation? A path destined for those who see the light, who understand. The path of true faith, divine love, and unending humility. And that is a path you too, my young friend, can follow.
What should I do?
Renounce your life of sin and accept Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, according to his teachings. Unreservedly and unconditionally. Christ must enter your soul. Fill it to the brim. Hell is approaching, and time is running out. Repent and pray, young man. Step forth onto the path towards salvation.
All right. I'll pray and repent and trust in the salvation of my immortal soul. I hope it works.
A wise decision, young man. You'll look back on this day as a new beginning. I must be off now, young man. May God be with you, and the best of luck on your path, whatever it may be.
God be with you too.
Good night, and God be with you.
still haven't been
Nice and
repaired.
slow.
Not only have they not been repaired, people are...
You have a kind master, eh, Dobby?
I heard you're in need of money, friend.
And give something to the church for my father's grave.
A bit early for that. It's ages till St. Wenceslas. I wouldn't leave it till the last moment this year.
An ale, as usual. Was darf's heute Morgen sein? Has anyone tried to sell you a ring or a rosary? Or a medal? What would I do with that stuff? Try asking a common trader. What's new around here? Nicht viel. If you need Geschäft, you should look elsewhere.
Chopping wood and he was fit as a fiddle.
I reckon he's got a lot of work there.
I heard 6 were to the south. So that if the city decided to turn against him again, we will be able to defend ourselves. But be careful. I reckon that's a good thing. Times were tough.
Good day. What would you like?
Has anyone tried to sell some items recently? Maybe a ring, a medal, boots, a manuscript, or a rosary?
No, no one offered me anything like that. Why'd you ask?
I'm looking for a thief.
Well, no one like that would get far with me. This is an honest shop.
And where else could he sell that kind of stuff?
Well, there are some folks that wouldn't bat an eye over some stolen goods. Try the hole in the wall tavern in the Hop Rink. No decent Christian will be caught dead there. The place is run by a fella called Mole. You might get something out of him.
Easy, easy. Nice and slow.
This horse must have cost us pretty good.
Hey! You nearly ran into me!
Easy, easy. Nice and slow.
Greetings to you, friend.
You were staring at you. No, I wasn't. And even if I was, there's no law against it. I'll do it if I want, eh?
There'll just be trouble.
The girl's right. Smells like trouble.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Good old beer.
Oh,
service.
Greetings. What brings you here so early in the morning?
Has anyone sold you a few small valuables recently? A ring, a medal, or a rosary? A kind of ornate one?
What's it to you? How would I end up if I went around telling everyone about things like that? No one would sell me anything again.
Don't worry. No one will find out.
How can you be sure?
Because I need it to be kept quiet too.
Why's that?
Are you testing me?
A little. To see if you know how to keep your mouth shut.
And? Have I convinced you?
I suppose so.
So, was there someone here like that? Maybe a young fella, kind of bashful?
Aye, he was here. I bought a silver ring, a medal, and a rosary from him, just like you said.
And do you know where I can find him now?
I don't.
You're not much help to me.
I'm not clairvoyant. But he also wanted to sell me some book.
And? What of it?
I didn't buy it. I don't get much call for books among my customers. So I sent him to the book merchant. Try him.
Yeah. I reckon there's not much else I can do. Slowly. Nice and slow.
My God.
Careful. It's not safe here.
Was brauchst du, Fremder? How can I help you?
Has anyone sold you a manuscript recently? A richly illuminated one, probably about the life of St. Francis?
Indeed. A very nice piece of work. Although, that fellow who sold it to me was damn suspicious.
Yeah, I suppose you were wondering how someone who looked like he hadn't got 2 groschen to rub together came by a book like that.
Exactly.
Well, then why did you buy it? If you suspected it was stolen?
So that nothing would happen to it, of course. Supposing he couldn't sell it, what then? It could end up thrown in a ditch, or worse again, in the fire.
Fair enough. Look, you wouldn't happen to know where that fella went afterwards?
Well, he did ask me about the local cobblers. Said he wanted to become an apprentice.
And where did he send him?
To the town center. That's where the only cobblers in the city are.
Show me your wares.
Nothing to your liking, sir?
Well, aren't you gonna... Greetings. What do you need?
So, that thing...
Buy some apples.
My respect. Ich bin gleich bei dir. Was möchtest du?
Have you taken someone on recently as an apprentice? A young fella?
There was a fella like that here. Wanted to sell me a pair of boots too. I already have an apprentice, but I bought the boots of him, at least, and sent him to Linhart. His shop is a few doors along.
Hey! You can't just walk around here without permission. Good. Don't come back till... More expensive than last time.
What can I do for you?
Was there a youngster here recently asking about an apprenticeship?
There was a fella like that.
And did you take him on?
I did. Just on trial for now, though.
Aha. And where can I find him?
In the workshop at the back. But why? Is he in trouble? He seems like a decent lad.
No, he's not in trouble. I just need to have a word with him.
Go ahead, then.
Henry, what are you doing here?
You weren't expecting to see me again so soon, were you?
I wasn't. That is... I'm glad to see you again, Henry.
Really? Why? So that you can explain to me why you played such a dirty trick on me?
I'm sorry, Henry. I really didn't mean to trick you.
You told me that you were going to plant the stuff on pivots and that everything would be returned afterwards.
Yeah, I told you that.
Well, then why the fuck didn't you? Why did you disappear? Why did you steal those things? Christ's sake. This way you've lost Ursula completely.
Henry, I lost her the day I was born poor. Even if Pivettes didn't get her, I'd never have got her father's blessing.
So why did you ask me to steal those things?
I really thought for a while that it all made sense. After all, Pivettes is such an arsehole. But then...
But then what?
But then I realized what a nasty thing it would be to do. Even though he is an arsehole, Pivettes didn't deserve that. And Ursula certainly didn't.
Why didn't you tell me you'd changed your mind? Why didn't you stop me?
I don't know. I suppose I was tempted by the coin I could get for those things.
So it was just the coin you were after?
Don't you understand, Henry? Without that silver, I'd never be able to leave the village or start learning a trade. I'd spend the rest of my life breaking my back for someone else as a hired hand. What kind of life is that?
When did you change your mind?
When I went to see Ursula's father.
You wanted to ask for her hand? Even though he'd already promised her to Pivettes?
No. I just wanted to talk to him out of giving her to Pivettes. Because he's such a bastard. You know, I wanted to be sure there was no other way than the trick we thought up.
And what did he say to you?
He said he's known that long since. But he wouldn't be around for long and he didn't want Ursula to be left alone. At that moment, I realized how shameful it was. What I was doing.
Because of him?
That too. But mostly because of Ursula.
Why didn't you ask for a coin?
And who'd give it to me? Don't tell me you would.
I'd give you coin. You only had to ask. It never had to go this far.
But I never believed anyone would be that generous.
What am I to do with you now? The captain at Suchdol is looking for you.
Henry, please. Tell him anything but the truth. Look, I finally got myself a decent livelihood here.
I'll let you go if you pay me.
I'd give you everything I have, but there's nothing left. So what are you going to do with me now, Henry?
I'll have to think it over.
I hope you can find in your heart a little of God's mercy, Henry. See you soon, my friend.
I don't think... Just as well. I fell asleep during the sermon.
I'm not surprised.
This horse wasn't cheating, that's for sure.
Quick! Easy, good horse.
It's good that Peter's recovered. He's a good bloke. We miss him here.
You're right. You must have a guardian angel.
Another thing about that thief you're looking for.
Yes?
I found him serving as an apprentice with a cobbler in Kuttenberg. He started a new life with the coin he got for that loot.
That's at least some redemption. But justice must be done. My man will take care of the rest. Thank you. Here's something for your effort.
Thanks. I'm glad I was able to help. How's it going, Captain? Do you have any work for me?
Sehr interessant. I thought you were helping Siska.
What of it?
Zum Glück nicht. If you're looking...
God be with you, my friend. And with you.